they're sworn to protect and serve. Well, the Washington Post study finding that more than 20% of people shot and killed by police officers across the nation were in a mental health crisis at the time. Finding a way to do that duty in a more graceful way has proven to be a challenge. There was a lot of concern that as stay-at-home measures started to ease, that we would simply start going out and about, maybe invite some friends over, or even invite the whole neighborhood over, that coronavirus cases would spike. However, the data shows that has not happened in our viewing area. It's no secret that the shopping mall industry has fallen on hard times in recent years, and the Johnstown Galleria has been no different. But its new owner says it has a bright future ahead. One very lucky person became an instant billionaire after last night's Mega Millions drawing, and I have an announcement to make. It was not me. The search led officers to these homes along Ash Street where they came with guns drawn, knocking on doors and putting local schools on alert. Over the past few years in Pennsylvania, it's become commonplace for sports fans to grab their favorite snack, turn on the big screen,
deep downfield,
and get in on the action themselves. For many older generations, keeping in touch meant, of course, writing a letter. Caitlin, in honor of our last story, I just wrote you a letter. I will read it to you here on the air. Dear Caitlin, it's cold and snowy today. Please make it warmer. Your friend,
I can do that.
Crispin. See, I'm going to put this in the mail. Maybe you'll get it here by the end of the show.
Yeah, and I could do that for you.
Oh, good to know. Good to know.
An explosion at a medical marijuana plant in Fulton County sent 5 people to the hospital today. Emergency responders from nearby Bedford and Huntington counties were called to the scene. 6 News was first on scene, and Crispin Havener is live in Fulton County with the latest. Hi, Crispin.
Yeah, Nicole, there was a wide emergency response from several different counties here to this medical marijuana growing facility, as well as people coming down here from the community wanting to learn the fate of their loved ones. Now, we were the first news crew on scene, and this is some of the video that we shot as we arrived on scene here along North Hess Road in Waterfall. The local fire chief here tells me it happened inside of an incineration room of the medical marijuana plant around 1:30 this afternoon. 5 people were taken to the hospital. The fire chief tells us that 2 of those people were taken by helicopter. We understand that those people were taken to UPMC Altoona for burn treatment. The 3 others were taken by ambulance to a hospital in McConnellsburg, about 20 minutes from here, one of them with burn injuries, the other 2 just to be checked out. The Fulton County Emergency Management Director tells us crews from 4 different counties, including Bedford and Huntington, were called in to help, and a state police fire marshal will be investigating how this all happened.
It could have been worse, depending on the size of the room and the people that were there and everything. But it seemed like their evacuation plans that they had set in place worked for them as well.
Now, the local coroner was here helping with the emergency response. He tells me that one of the people who was being checked out did come back down here this afternoon, but we don't know the condition of the other 4 people who were hurt. But certainly a lot of concern in this community. We were standing along the road here by the facility as loved ones were coming down who had people working inside of here wanting to learn the fate of their loved ones. They said they hadn't heard from them, and we're hoping to get that information. So certainly a lot of concern here today as the investigation continues into the night. Reporting live in Fulton County, Crispin Havener, 6 News.
And while there may be more pessimism than before, people from the area we talked to said they were glad to celebrate their freedom today. Crispin Havener was out talking with them about the State of the Union. Crispin?
Yeah, Jan, and a happy 4th to you. It was Robert Kennedy who said, "Democracy is messy and never easy." Perhaps that explains what Christine was just talking about with the new lows for people who say that they are extremely proud to be an American. But those I talked to celebrating Independence Day events locally today say there is more that unites us than divides us. From backyard barbecues to the Rockets' red glare, people across the Alleghenies on this Independence Day celebrating life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And while perhaps the 246-year-long American experiment hasn't been perfected yet, those I talked to at the Johnstown Symphony Orchestra's 4th of July performance in Windber said they were happy to celebrate America.
We came down here to see this concert, and then we just planned to eat somewhere today out and go home and relax.
We went to the fireworks last night, and we are going to have the family over for a picnic today with hot dogs and hamburgers.
Maybe go swimming up to Wimble Park. I go up there like when it's not too hot.
Blessed to share some time together in their little piece of small town America.
My wife and I have both been raised here in the Johnstown area and been here pretty much all our lives.
While appreciating what the country stands for.
Freedom. I'm so proud of our country.
It's a very unifying experience to be part of music together and participate in this awesome holiday. Just good vibes all the way around.
And while the course of human events has recently been tumultuous, the pledge from the Declaration of Independence remains to each other for our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Yes, you have to trust in God.
Just being an American, living here, enjoying a good life, I hope that continues.
And at the symphony concert today, they also played the fight songs of all the branches of the military and saluted the veterans that were there who served. Reporting live, Crispin, 6 News.
6 News, coverage you can count on, starts with breaking news.
Good evening, friends. On a very busy Saturday evening, I'm Crispin. We begin with two big criminal investigations that are underway locally tonight. We'll get to Douglas Braff with new details on an attempted homicide case that left 2 people shot in Huntington County coming up. But we'll begin with a deadly shooting in Johnstown that happened early this morning. Nicole Fascino has late-breaking details on this case. Nicole?
Reporting live, Nicole Fascino, 6 News.
All right, Nicole, thank you. We'll stay on that story. Meanwhile, we're learning what led up to 2 people being shot inside of a home in Huntington County. Douglas Braff has that story from our Center County Bureau.
I'm Douglas Braff, reporting for 6 News.
Thank you, Douglas. A man was killed in a late-night crash in Cambria County. 911 officials say it happened just before 11 o'clock last night along Route 22 westbound in Crescent near the Munster exit. State police say 76-year-old Richard Bartoletti's vehicle was pulled over on the side of the road with his lights off when it was rear-ended by a van. Bartoletti's vehicle went off the road and he was pronounced dead on the scene. Police say Bartoletti was not wearing a seatbelt. A gas buildup inside of a water heater caused an explosion and fire in Cambria County last night. That's what fire crews tell 6 News happened just after 6 o'clock in the 700 block of Cameron Avenue in Beaverdale, Cambria County on Friday. Neighbors also told our crew at the scene that they heard explosions prior to the home being engulfed in flames. The home collapsed from the damage. Fire officials say 2 residents and a dog were able to escape that home unharmed. Crews battled the fire for more than 2 hours. And these are new photos in today of a fire in DuBois last night. The DuBois Fire Department tells us it broke out around 5 o'clock on South High Street. Crews were quickly on scene to put out the fire. No word on a cause tonight. Let's get a check outside now with meteorologist Kate Westerholm. Kate, a lot cooler out there today.
Yeah, definitely feeling the difference out there today. But I'll have a look at when warmer temperatures return coming up in just a bit.
Kate, thanks. Now to the latest on Ukraine, where President Joe Biden told Russian President Vladimir Putin in a more than hour-long call today that further Russian invasion of Ukraine would produce widespread human suffering and diminish Russia's standing. And that while the U.S. would continue diplomacy over Ukraine, President Biden said the U.S. is, quote, equally prepared for other scenarios. Erin McLaughlin has the latest tonight.
Erin McLaughlin, NBC News, Kyiv, Ukraine.
All this is going down as Winter Olympics continue in Beijing. We'll have the latest on Team USA's efforts ahead. And we're about 24 hours away from the kickoff of Super Bowl 56 right here on WJAC. We'll take you to Los Angeles for the countdown to kickoff ahead on 6 News at 6. Well, the sun is rising over a snowy Beijing where figure skating is underway with American pairs on the hunt for a medal in ice dancing. The U.S. picked up another gold by 2 snowboarders in their golden years And hockey's also heating up with U.S. teams still going strong. Liz McLaughlin has the latest for us tonight.
From the Olympic Games, I'm Liz McLaughlin, 6 News.
All right, thank you. And here is the latest medal count. Norway on top of the medal board with 17 total medals. They're tied with Germany for the most goals with 8. You see Team USA in 6th. 5 gold, 5 silver, and a bronze. And tonight in prime time, the action continues with coverage of the women's third and final runs in skeleton. Then, as you heard mentioned there, the first and second runs in the women's monobob event in bobsled, followed by the first runs of the men's giant slalom event in alpine skiing. And we'll also bring you coverage of the rhythm dance event in figure skating. 6 News follows all of it tonight at 11. And tomorrow's a little thing called the Super Bowl here on WJAC. Jennifer Bjorklund is at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles as the hometown Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals are getting ready for kickoff. We hope you're sitting on your couch all day long with us on WJAC because tomorrow is Super Gold Sunday as we'll bring you 18 hours of Olympics and Super Bowl coverage. It all began at 8 a.m. with daytime coverage of the Olympics, then 6 hours of pregame leading up to the Super Bowl. The big game is followed by primetime coverage from Beijing and a special edition of 6 News. Jen Johnson will join yours truly at midnight, and we'll also have Chief Meteorologist Tony Martin with his wintercast for the second half of winter. That's all tomorrow, right here on WJAC.
Back to the 30s for Tuesday, then closer to 50 Wednesday and Thursday, although we see some rain move in for Thursday and eventually changing over to a couple of snow showers early Friday.
We love that forecast. Thank you, Kate. Check this out. Shot of the day from the third round of the Waste Management Open outside of Phoenix. 20,000 fans surrounding the 16th hole. A Sam Ryder shot is tracking. Look out. It's a hole-in-one. And to say the crowd went wild for this, well, that might be an understatement. And they say golf is a stuffy and uptight affair. My goodness, look at that scene. Play was stopped for about 15 minutes for cleanup of all those suds.